Welcome on into WagerTalk Today. That's right. It's time to get some winners. Whereas Andy would say, we walk the walk and we talk the talk. It's what we do here on WagerTalk Today, a Thursday, July 16th edition, and we have so much to get into. If you're wondering, where is Andy? Andy had an emergency, a business emergency. He is okay. Do not worry. He will be back and mañana on tomorrow's show. But today, don't worry, we got some great fill-ins. I'll be holding down the fort here, taking your comments all along the way here with a live edition. Jumping into the batter's box, the triumphant return of total bases on WagerTalk TV comes tomorrow. That means, I would argue, the star of the show, certainly the glue that holds the show together. Adam Trigger is going to be here on the show with us. Carmine Bianco going to give us an early look and his thoughts on this World Cup Final that is going on Sunday. It's Argentina and it is Spain. And I do have to bring up here right at the top, we're going to get to you some free plays here. Andrew McInnis also has CFL coming. But yesterday, we had some fisticuffs going on in the chat. And yesterday there was a question, Dan, do you get any soccer bets right? And sometimes we get them wrong. You know, it's just the nature of the beast. If I was batting 100%, trust me, I probably wouldn't be here. But I can tell you yesterday on the program, there was someone who said Argentina 2-1 final. I felt like Carmine Bianco calling a perfect score yesterday. I'll tell you what, I really did. We nailed that one. We got you the over on the corners as well. So a bunch of different ways we dissected that game. We cashed a bunch of them. So not only one soccer bet hit, but one or two hit there indeed. But guys, let's get right into it. We'll get you your Thursday hammer as well. I think I have a fun one that you guys are going to like. But joining the show now, my man, Adam Trigger. Adam, it is so good to see you, brother. It has been too long that we've had you here on WagerTalk Today. But the reason why we don't have you is typically you're rocking for an hour long alongside the pimp, Tokyo Brandon and Brian Leonard. So no total bases today. I had to steal you to bring you on here, man. How you been, brother?
Bored. I'm ready for the games to get going again. You know, I always say oh, I'm looking forward to this break. And now by like Thursday, I'm just ready for baseball to get back going. And hey, they gave us a game tonight. This last couple of years, we've had to wait till Friday. So yeah, I'm excited to talk Mets, Phillies, and get the season going again.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about your second half thoughts as we have a little bit of time to breathe here. And when I say second half, I mean following the All-Star break. We know that it's really the final stanza, the final third of the season, if you will. But you mentioned it here tonight, Trig, and I say we start right there because an interesting scheduling spot. It's a 3-game set that will be in Philadelphia, the host city of this All-Star break and All-Star weekend that they had. However, they'll play tonight. It's a standalone game, so all eyes and all baseball bets will be on this game. And then both teams have off on Friday when all of the other teams are playing, and then they continue on Saturday. So I saw it was Aaron Nola. I believe Christian Scott's going to be who's opposing him on the bump. So I'm sure Phillies fans not excited that their first action they will see is Aaron Nola. But Trig, how do you see this one shaking out? How do you attack after such a big layoff, you know, with this All-Star break, a team that was really limping into this All-Star break when you look at a New York Mets, a team that's really been limping all season long, and then a team that had 2 series wins back-to-back and has only continued an upward trajectory in the Phillies. That layoff helped. That layoff hurt. How are you attacking it, Trig?
So because we have a couple of minutes, before we get into the breakdown of the game, like that's a very important point that I think is probably more relevant tomorrow when you look at tomorrow's slate. But like, listen, like there are teams that won. I think the Red Sox had 8 or 9 wins going into the break. There's teams like the A's that were losing going into the break. And you're going to see people come on the show come on shows tomorrow. And they're going to be like, well, this team's won 9 in a row. This team's lost 5 in a row. This team's lost 4 in a row. And I can't stress that how irrelevant that is. Like you got to like not worry about that. It is, you almost have to look at it as opening day number 2, right? Because so much of a baseball streak, Dan, is contingent on like playing every day, right? This is like losing streaks and winning streaks happen in baseball a lot of times because things snowball. Look at a team like the A's who just was like, they were dying to get that break, right? They were playing terrible. Their best player goes down. And it's like they just desperately needed a break. Whereas a team like the Red Sox, they probably wanted to keep playing. Now they have to go home for 3 days, come back, regroup. do they still have the momentum? Do they not? So that's like, I guess my just point to make is the books are going to price these games as if play just resumed on Monday, right? Like they're gonna price in the fact that the Red Sox are winning games. Like everything is gonna be like it's picked up, like it just stopped. And that's just not the case. We see this every year. Team goes into the break red hot. Look at the Tigers last year. They're the hottest team on planet Earth going into the All-Star break. And they could not get out of their own way for the second half of the season. That's something that, like, again, is just very important when you go to handicap this game and games tomorrow. It's super important that you take note of that, because 4 days off is a long time for these big leaguers. As far as this game is concerned, though, Dan, I'm going to look at the under. So, like, here's the thing with Mets Phillies. I think the books got this price right. That's not surprising at all. There's one game on the slate today. It's not at all a surprise that the books kind of got the number and got the total right. But if I was going to bet this game, and I'm not for clients, I'd have to look toward the under. So you talked about your guy, Aaron Nola. He did not have a good first half. However, his expected numbers are better than the numbers he put up. So you're looking at like a 5.75 ERA, yet expected is 4.22. If you looked at the last month for him, if you throw out the start against the Pirates, he really hasn't been that bad. And I would say, like, a guy like Aaron Nola, this is a guy that has a 1.16 career whip, a former All-Star. He's been pitching at a high level for a long time. I know, Dan, as a Philly fan, this has to make you happy. Like, I think he has a better second half than his first half. Like, he's a guy that I could see improving greatly in the second half. You just look at what he's done his whole career. Look at the fact that his expected ERA is about a whole point lower than his actual ERA. And then look at the strikeouts. Even with the bad first half, he's still striking out about a batter per inning. And Dan, his career strikeouts has always been over a strikeout per inning pitch. So, like, he's got a pretty strong sample size of being a really good pitcher in this league, that my gut says he figures it out. Now, as far as the Phillies are concerned, as far as these two teams are concerned offensively, the Phillies are such a top-heavy lineup, like a crazy top-heavy lineup. When you get outside of the Schwarber, Harper, Turner, and then we'll throw Brandon Marsh in there in the mix, lineup's not that good. 7 through 9 hitters, Dan, this year have been as bad as any team in the league. They've been bottom 5 in Major League Baseball this season almost all year, production out of the hitters that bat 7th through 9th. So, and even if you take everyone in consideration, this is still a Phillies team that has a WRC plus of 93, which I believe is 23rd in the league. They're tied with like 4 teams in that metric. One of those teams is the Mets. So the Mets haven't been very good offensively either. And then you talk about a guy like Christian Scott. He's not great, but he's got a big fastball. And the Mets are not going to have him in super deep here. He's a 4 or 5 inning guy, and every bullpen arm is rested here. So you're not going to see the Mets force Scott into the 5th and 6th inning. They're going to be happy to go to their bullpen. And I think the top bullpen arms on these teams are pretty good. So for all of those reasons, I think 9.5 under makes some sense here.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree with here, and especially when you're talking about a 9 right around that key number. That hook is ultimately something that you have to keep an eye on. I also think, maybe a little bit like Trigg said, coming out of a break for some of these hitters, I think that bodes better for a pitcher to just snap right back in. And 2 pitchers who are bad, a layoff isn't the worst thing ever,
Yeah, absolutely. And Dan, I came prepared. I knew you were going to ask me all these questions, but I came prepared with a little question for you that this stat absolutely blows my mind. So batting average on balls in play, if you're unfamiliar with that term, the definition is your batting average on balls that you put in play. It takes strikeouts, walks, hit by pitches out of the equation. Do you know who the all-time league leader in this metric is? The all-time history of the game. Go back 100 years.
All-time?
All time.
So you're saying
history of the game. I don't expect you to get this, but it's a very notable name.
I mean, so what era are we talking here?
Go back like 100 years. It's like a guy.
Oh, so we're talking Babe Ruth?
Oh yeah, someone like that. Not him though.
So who is it?
It's Ty Cobb, right? Everyone knows Ty Cobb.
Oh, Ty Cobb's. Yeah.
Do you know who number 2 is? All-time history of Major League Baseball. Number 2 batting average on balls in play. This is a measure of luck as well. And I'll give you my
I feel like if you're asking, it has to be someone that's active now, right?
You're a smart guy, yeah.
So, oh man. Is it gonna be no, because he doesn't play them in play too much. Bryce Harper?
It's Brandon Marsh. Number 2 in the history of the sport. Brandon Marsh, number 2 in the history of the sport with a
Good
minimum 1,000 at-bats.
Juan Soto's a good guess.
Yep. Minimum 1,000 at-bats. Brandon Marsh is number 2. It is a measure of luck a little bit. Like, if there was ever someone that was going to have a generational slump in the second half, it's probably him. And then you talk about these other Phillies hitters, their top heavy lineup, all these guys had to play during the All-Star break. Harper and Schwarber had to participate in the home run derby. Do you think you're just getting like all these guys' best effort tonight? They just said those two did the home run derby. 3 of them played in the All-Star game. And then when you get outside of Schwarber, Harper, Turner, Marsh, this Phillies lineup's not that good. They're not that good. They're bottom 10 in the league. So that's the best I can come up with for this game. I don't know if I would fade them because I think Nola pitches well, but I think the Mets have bullpen arms, and I think Scott could pitch well as well. So I say if you have to bet this game tonight, I think you go under 9.5. That's kind of a key number too. Scott's prone to giving up the long ball, but you can survive a couple of those when you're getting an under 9.5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And guys, I think Trey, you kind of alluded to this, and it's a good point, is when you have a single game on the board like this, like a lot of times when you have these big MLB boards, there's going to be some outliers, but this is about as sharp as a sharp line is going to get, especially as the action goes on in the day, because it's the only dance in town. So under makes some sense to me. I know a lot of folks think, oh, Nola's going to get shelled. I kind of like that we're bucking conventional wisdom on this one too. So if this thing was 9, okay, you're talking maybe push potential. The fact we're getting that hook too has also based in that both of these pitchers have been pretty poor in that opening stanza of the season. So Adam Traeger, WT.buzz /AT is where they can find you. I have one more question for you, but first, let folks know what they're going to find over at your page as we head on through here to the latter part of the MLB season.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to find baseball. Once football starts, you'll find football. Had a really good football season last year combined. Went 27-2, 35.85 units. So far this baseball season, 131-95. That's 58% hit rate, 64.14 units in the plus. And that is, I'm up across all 3 leagues. So, Dan, that was something that I was really happy to get to the All-Star break and be ahead in MLB, KBO, and AAA. I kind of know at this point I'll probably win something in AAA, but to get to be ahead in the other leagues as well was I'm pretty happy about that. I'm happy how the season, I'm happy how 2026 is going, up 109.69 units. I think it's second on the site, so having a really good year. And as far as baseball is concerned, you'll find plays in all 3 of those leagues starting as early as tomorrow morning. I've got KBO up on my site, and it's half off. So it's $12.50 as opposed to $25, a 4% play that goes tomorrow morning. And we're ready to get the second half started here.
Yeah, do not forget about that KBO. Indeed, one of our first true loves. And also, this special is live right now. So MLB through the World Series, folks. I know football is right around the corner, but these guys have been building your bankrolls. They break it down every single morning, plus on Saturdays. Getting you guys some winners is Adam Traeger, Tokyo Brandon, and of course our man Brian Leonard as well. Code MLB100, take $100 off, and the sooner you buy that, the more money you're saving on that one. So check that one out, WT.buzz /AT. Traeg, last question I have for you is, obviously, folks, check out Total Bases. It is one of the most successful live shows that we have ever done here at Wager Talk, and the reason is these 3 guys approach baseball completely different. They're taking your questions all along the way. They're taking super chat donations. So if you haven't checked it out, every weekday, 9 a.m. On Saturdays, it's at 10 a.m. Trig, do you have any teams heading here out of the break? You alluded to it at the top to really pump the brakes on any trends that you saw beforehand. Were there any teams that you kind of had dog-eared as like, this is going to be a buy-on team, this is going to be a fade team for me in the second half? Or are we going to wait? We're going to see how we attack once these teams get back in action after this opening set here for all of them on the weekend.
Yeah, so for me, in terms of like futures, and that's one thing you'll get for free if you watch Total Bases, we've actually locked in some really good futures positions so far this year. My co-host Brian Leonard had a great call on the Tigers. He sort of kind of came on the show and said to buy them right before they had their huge month of June. On the 16th of June, I gave out Marlins to make the playoffs. They were plus 980, Dan, plus 980. And they went off to have one of the best months that anyone has had in the league. So, I don't want to rehash some of that stuff. Like, if anything, I'd actually be a little bit worried about the Marlins maybe being overvalued coming out of the break. So just, I guess, in the interest of finding one that's good for today. And to answer your original question, I will likely wait until some of these teams start to make moves. Until some of these, because we're sitting at July 16th right now. The next 2 weeks, you're going to see teams start to make moves. They're going to start to show their hand, whether they're in, whether they're out. So I'll go back to a team that I actually gave out as a couple futures options on season win total overs prior to the season, and that's the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I think the Pittsburgh Pirates over the weekend sort of made a statement that, like, no, they're here to compete this year. Going into the weekend, they were 47-47. They made a trade for Jacob Gonzalez from the White Sox. So the reason that's so important is it was the day before the draft. They traded away essentially a first rounder. It was a comp pick. I think it was the 34th overall pick. And they gave away one of their bullpen arms, like a young reliever coming up through the system. In return, they got back Jacob Gonzalez and another reliever. And to me, that tells me that the Pirates are basically saying, hey, we've got Paul Skeens. We've got Braxton Ashcraft. We love our pitching. We have a couple of good, really stud pitchers in the minors. And we're going to make a move to, potentially win this year. Jacob Gonzalez will slot right in for Connor Griffin, who, of course, is hurt. And, you start to look at that lineup. Right now, the Pirates, they've been top 5 offensive teams in the league all season. That's kind of mind-blowing. I don't know how many people just have that off the top of their head. Pirates right now, number 2 WRC plus. They're top 5 in runs scored. They're having an incredible offensive year. And so to basically go out and get someone that can replace one of the guys that was hurt is massive. And so for me right now, I'd buy the Pirates any way that you can that makes sense. I mean, I don't know if they'll come back and win the NL Central, but if you can get good prices on the Pirates to make the playoffs, maybe again, they're 9.5 games behind the Brewers. It's going to be tough to get back in that division, but you get into the playoffs, Dan, and suddenly you've got Paul Skeens and then Ashcraft's going game 2, and then you can come back with Bubba Chandler in game 3. And what if Seth Hernandez makes it up this year? He's at high A right now. He's one of the top pitching prospects in minor league baseball. That's going to be a tough team to beat. So that is the team that on July 16th, I like the most relative to where they're priced in the market. I'd take Pirates futures for sure.
Man, nobody breaks it down better than my man, Adam Trigger. Trig, I hope you enjoyed your all-star break from our friend Tokyo Brandon. But the rest of the way,
he's the real star of that show. You said I was Tokyo Brandon's the star of the show.
Well, I mean, he definitely has the best outfits, but that goes without saying. So, guys, don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Total Bases is back the rest of the baseball season each and every weekday, 9 a.m. So, Trig, thank you for pinch hitting for us here as we didn't have Joe on, and it ended up really working out for us. So, man, best of luck on that KBO play, and best of luck the rest of the way, man. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Take care.
WT.buzz /AT. He's got a KBO play up right now. And you want to hop in on that MLB special that they have going on. Before we get to Carm, do want to mention my friend Andy Lang, your fearless leader here. He, of course, can't be with us. He had a little bit of an emergency that he had to take care of. He is okay. Do not worry. He will be back tomorrow. But what is over at Andy's page, WT.buzz /AL. He told me to let you guys know, just buy 3 days, get 3 days free. That's the way to do it. 6 days of action. And what does he have up? He's got a 5% World Cup play. This was loaded 10 minutes after that game yesterday finished. It's a spot that we all kind of agreed on. So that's already locked and loaded over at his page. He's also got a 5% up in the UFC. And viewers of this show know UFC was brutal for us to start the year. It was awful for us. So what did we do? We stopped betting. We said, we're not loading any more UFC plays. We're going to take a backseat. And we just were paper trading. We were paying attention. Andy was still doing his live streams, all that good stuff. And then success started to come. And now with the new Paramount style of UFC, Andy and the team started feeling better. So they have a 5% after coming off 5 straight MMA winners. And they swept UFC 329. So WT.buzz /AL. You want those 5%ers individually? Sure. They're $35 a piece. But if you want all of that action, 3 days of action, you get 3 days free. That's just $69. That's the way to attack it. WT.buzz /AL. And now let's bring in Mr. World Cup himself. It's Carmine Bianco. Carm, every
What's
time
up?
over at our Twitter page, we've been tweeting out who is the leader, who is doing the best in World Cup. And Carm, credit to you, man. From the opening day of the tournament, you have trusted your process, you've trusted your numbers, and you've been allowing yourself to adjust to what you've been seeing. You didn't just say, these are the teams I like before the tournament. You're adjusting to how they're calling things, how things are working. And man, you deserve to be number one. You're doing a terrific job, brother, here in the World Cup. We're almost sad to see it go, not just because we're cashing. It's been a pretty damn good World Cup, man.
I'm going to petition for it to go on for like another month or so. You know what I mean? Let's have like a 4th place game, a 5th place game, a 6th place game, and continue on. But no, it's been a fun World Cup. Some late game wins, some late game losses. The England game was a late game loss for me yesterday.
Brutal.
And I've got thoughts on that one. I'll vent a little bit before we get into Spain if I can.
Yeah. Carm, let's start there because, we cashed in on a couple different ways to attack that game, but I wanted to bet England. And the part that kept me off of England was just, does the experience for Argentina win out? And I don't know if it was the Argentinian experience that won out, but it certainly seemed after seizing that lead in the 55th minute, it was the England inexperience that really cost them. How did you see that? Were you frustrated? I mean, obviously you and the clients wanted England to get that thing done, but really it was England who lost that game even more so than Argentina winning that game.
Yeah, I believe so. I think you're bang on with that statement. It's one of those ones where, there's only been 2 teams ever to in a semifinal to score the first goal and then go on to lose the game. 2018, England did it against Croatia, where the game went to extra time after Croatia tied it up. And then Croatia won it to go on and face France and eventually lose 4-2. And then a repeat of that, although they gave up 2 late. But, the players on the field were doing exactly what they were supposed to do. The tactics early on for the team were right. You had England doing the high press, Anthony Gordon pressing up high. They didn't allow Argentina to get that flow from the back out. And it normally starts with Emi Martinez, the goalie. He gets it out, gets it quickly to his midfield and to his forwards, and Argentina attacks. They completely shut that off for 55 minutes of the game. But then it was like they scored the goal, and it just reminiscent of 2021, the Euros, where they literally scored, I think, 10 minutes into the game against Italy, and then decided to, we can protect this 1-goal lead. And they didn't. They gave the keys to the car to Italy, and Italy eventually sent that game to extra time and penalties and won it there. They gave the keys to the car to Argentina, to Lionel Messi, to Lautaro Martinez, to Julian Alvarez, and they absolutely spent the next 30 minutes in England's final third, getting balls into the box. And you knew eventually it was going to come. You could tell. If there was a way to cash out the bet, you would have to cash out the bet because England were going to cough up that game. And that falls on Thomas Tuchel, and more so than the players, because the players he put in the second half, he set this team up to fail. They had 10 players on the field after that 1-0 lead, and 7 of them are like defensive-minded players, but 6 of them are players who, for their domestic league teams, play fullback and center backs, pure defensive players. And he put them in there trying to park the bus. Well, they got run over by that same bus. You cannot do that against a team like Argentina. You have to play more like a team like Spain and what they did to France when they shut down Mbappe, Dembele, Barcola, Desiree Doué. What they did was they said to France, we're up 1-0. We're going to keep coming at you. We are going to roll you. And they scored a second goal to put it out of reach. And then they almost scored a third. It was called offside on a marginal offside. That's the difference between a team like Spain and a team like England. Spain are fearless. England feared Argentina for the last 30 minutes, and they made them pay for it.
Yeah, I think you're spot on there, Carm. And just like you said, I mean, absolutely brutal way to go out if you're England. And that was the fear for me was I almost bought into all of these England fans that have only seen heartbreak. So they were just like, I know the other shoe is going to drop. And I kind of joked about it on the show yesterday, but that ends up being exactly what happened. And Carm, I'm not sure what Jude Bellingham said to Lionel Messi, but the second he got hit with the Robert De Niro face that he makes before someone gets whacked in mob movies, you knew that you were cooked. The second that you saw Messi make the De Niro, okay, you're about to get whacked face. Yeah, that's when I knew that they were cooked. So maybe Jude, you don't speak to the GOAT in that manner. I took that personally Jordan moment from Messi. Surely didn't help the cause, Carm.
Yeah, when you're in a race with someone, he runs out of gas, you don't stop and give him fuel. You just keep going. And Jude Bellingham gave, you piss off a guy like Lionel Messi, and he takes it past like the 100%. He goes 110, 120. He's at his age, he's unbelievable. He could very well play another World Cup as well too. People say he can't. You just never know with a guy like him playing in North America for the next couple of years, and then takes a year off or returns to Barcelona for his farewell tour, where he signs like a one-day contract and retires in front of the fans, and then comes back and plays the World Cup for Argentina again. Who knows? It's in Europe, so he's going to be loved in Europe. With that World Cup in Morocco, Turkey, and Spain, I believe it is.
Yeah,
so I think that's that combo. But
I'm not wishing time away, but I'm excited for the next World Cup as long as they don't decide to allow every country, essentially, if they go to 64 teams like they're talking about. But we have 4 years to worry about that, Carm. Let's talk about
how else is Italy going to qualify if we don't boost it to 64 or 84 teams? Tom Viola, God bless him. Every day he trolls me with the whole Italy thing, but I get it.
Well,
it's all good.
How did it work out for him? I was sitting alongside him at a steakhouse when he had $1,000 on the line in that USA game as they got waxed by Belgium, Carm. So don't worry. He could talk all the smack in the world. Nothing will ever be as bad as him angrily eating creme brulee after our steak dinner after USA went down in flames. But Carm, let's look ahead to this game on Sunday. I mean, this should be one hell of a final here, and I think the odds kind of indicate that. You're seeing Argentina's plus 130 to lift the cup, Spain looking as a minus 150 favorite. This Spain defense, man, what they did to France, I thought both teams to score in that game was an absolute lock. I mean, again, you never say anything's a lock, but the last time that they faced off, I think it was like a 5-4 final, something like that, and that was in 90 minutes. So I expected scoring, and Spain just shut the door. Do you think this Spanish defense can do exactly what they did to France and just really limit what they're able to do, pushing the ball forward? Because if Spain gets on the board first, it's boa constrictor time, and it's hard to breathe against this team.
Yeah, I believe so. It's one of those things where if Spain gets on top early, they are not going to sit back. They are going to keep going at Argentina. But it comes down to, can Argentina solve Spain's midfield? Rodri, who I talked about previously, Rodri and Ruiz are having an unbelievable tournament for Spain. They completely shut down Mbappe and Dembele, where to one point they didn't even have a shot on goal. This a high-powered France team that went into that game, I think, with 16 goals scored heading into that one. Argentina is now the highest scoring team at 19. So they're facing another high-powered team as well too. But this Spain has been flawless, other than the opening group stage draw with Cape Verde. And let's give Cape Verde some credit. Cape Verde, a nation with 525 people, has played both Spain and Argentina and didn't lose to either. They tied Spain 0-0, and they tied Argentina 2-2 after 90 minutes before losing it in extra time. So kudos to that small little nation they'll be watching the World Cup thinking, what if? But it comes down to this. It's you have to decide, can Argentina replicate what they did in the game against England, against Spain? I don't think they can. If they fall behind early, I don't think there's a way back for them, because I think Spain continues to put the pressure on them, play strong defensively. And that game did take a lot out of Argentina. This is a team that for the last 30 minutes of that game, they basically put an effort of any team that plays 90 minutes into 30 minutes attacking and trying to score that goal. It's physically draining for them. Of course, they won. Now they make the trip to MetLife Stadium. Kind of a weird location for the final, if you ask me. But with that said, this has been a flawless team. Spain's allowed one goal in this tournament, and that was to Belgium in that 2-1 quarterfinal win. The Spain teams played well. Now, there's always the fear that this game could go to extra time. And if it goes to extra time and possibly penalty kicks, as did the 2022 World Cup, when the high-powered France team took Argentina to penalty kicks, you might want to take that to lift the cup. I think that's the better option here. I get it. It looks attractive on the 90-minute line with all those plus prices, but that's where people get drawn in and sometimes get sucked into it of what is the better chance. Do you think Spain's going to win? If the answer is yes, then just lay the 150 instead of taking the plus 130, because there's nothing worse than saying Spain's going to win, but then it goes to extra time, Spain wins, and you're stuck with a losing bet, which was graded after 90 minutes. So that's the tough part of this game. But that minus 150 isn't a bad price, especially on this Spanish team. They have been the best team since the start of the World Cup, and should be the best team at the end to lift the trophy.
Yeah, WT.buzz/CB is where you can get the best bets. Carm, we were talking about it before the show came on, and this is a nice way that we can even touch upon that third place game, which I always think is hilarious. Let's get up so that we can win third place. Here we go. But Sean's asking this question. I think it's a good one that allows us to at least touch upon that game. Golden Boot. We know who the favorite is. We know how this plays out. Playing down an England team, and Messi has to try and score against the great defense of Spain. So France playing England in the third place game, in the game neither of them want to be in, but still some incentive on the line. And Messi playing against the best defense in this tournament. Any thoughts on the Golden Boot? Any thoughts on maybe how to attack that and make this into a secondary market?
Yeah, and that's an excellent question by Sean. And I say it's an excellent question because I actually just released this play before the show, and I took Mbappe to win the Golden Boot at minus 125. So currently going into this third place game, which counts, and obviously, and then the final, both Mbappe and Lionel Messi have 8 goals apiece. The tiebreaker, if they finish equal on 8 or 9 goals, it goes to the assists. Messi has 4 and Mbappe has 3. Now the thing here is, if you look at the prices on this one, Mbappe is minus 125, even though he is currently in second due to the tiebreaker, and Messi is at even money. Mbappe is also minus 185 to score on Saturday against England. You have an England team that are have to be dejected at this point, are heading to Hard Rock Stadium now in Miami to have to play this France team. And Thomas Tuchel is probably getting, even though he got the vote of confidence from England's FA that he will continue to be the manager, you have to believe that he has seen all the reports about how he blew this game for this team. I think he lets England play this game. I think there's going to be goals in this game. And I think Mbappe will obviously start and score in this game. So instead of laying a minus 185 on Mbappe to score, I would rather take the Golden Boot, figuring he's going to score at least 1, possibly 2. And Messi's not putting himself before the team on Sunday. Messi, if he has to play playmaker, that's exactly what he's going to do. He'll do whatever it takes possible to win a second back-to-back World Cup for this Argentina team. But doing against the Spain defense is completely different than doing it against the teams he has faced thus far. And, he did pile up the goals early in the group stages. The first 5 Argentina scored were all scored by Lionel Messi. So he's only scored 3 since. So it's a different beast here on Sunday. I think the -125 on Mbappe to win the Golden Boot is a great price.
Yeah, love that breakdown. Breakdowns like that are how you end up just shy of 65 units that we're gaining for clients. WT.buzz/CB. Carm, let them know what you have over at your page. But before you do, I'll tell you guys, Carm's going to let you know this action that he has at his page as well. You can use this buy 3, get 3 days free. So you can get 6 days of action that can lump in a lot of this action for you, Carm. And what are the kind of plays that they're going to see? Because it's not only World Cup soccer that you can cash in on.
Yeah. Well, MLS, and it's so tough to watch the Major League Soccer after you've watched the World Cup, but it returns tonight, and I've got a couple plays up over at WagerTalk, and I have a play up for Sunday, best bet to close out the World Cup as well too. And guys, I've been doing the free play videos at WagerTalk. All I ever ask people who are watching it is to hit the subscribe button. The same thing I'm going to tell you now, as we have 250,000 subscribers and we're growing each and every day. But I'm developing a brand new, because these free play videos got so much traction and there was like about 20,000 people tuning in to watch these videos. I'm going to do one throughout the whole Premier League season that will air on Thursdays, and it'll be called Carmine Bianco's Premier League 5. I will break down 5 games for the Saturday and Sunday Premier League cards with the best bet on the card, the prop bets if you like playing those same game parlays and what have you. So you'll be able to get a lot of content for free. All you got to do is subscribe and hit the notification button. And I'm going to continue to do those videos for you guys because you guys love them. We got some really good comments, some really funny comments. No, I don't shave my head on purpose. One guy asked me if I did. But with that said, the 3+3 is a great package. You're going to get a lot of soccer between now and next week, let's say, for the 3+3. But also a couple of deals. You can get the 4 UEFA tournaments: Champions League, Europa League, Europa Conference League, and the Nations League. 1 full year of it up until the finals on June 2027. It's normally $3.99. If you use the code UEFA 100, you'll get $100 off. Or if you just want a year of soccer, you can use BB 149, and that'll get you $149 off a full year of soccer.
I love it, Carm. Thank you for hopping on here, man. Best of luck. Hit those plays. And yeah, MLS, just a slight downgrade of quality that you will be seeing. But whether it's as high quality or not, we want to cash in on it, and you can do so. WT.buzz/CB. Carm, thank you as always, brother.
One more, just before I go. One guy said, don't gaslight the audience. Carmine said, and everyone else said France and England. If you actually go back to the World Cup videos that I posted, my very first 2 videos that I posted were, do not bet this team to win the World Cup. And one was France. And then I followed that up with, do not bet this team to win the World Cup. And the other one was England. The only 2 teams I recorded videos on and told you not to bet them to win the World Cup. So, I don't know, man. Get on your horse. Head back to your squeegee post and find someone else to troll. Anyways, Dan, love being on the show with you. Hope Andy recovers from Taco Bell and that explosive stuff that you might have had today. And you get to talk to Andrew.
I was just going to say, WT.buzz/CB. Carm, appreciate you. Yeah, the don't gaslight us, Carm, is hilarious when documented every single play. 49, 27, and 5. So yeah, 49, 27, and 5 here in the World Cup. So Carm's allowed to get 1 or 2 wrong when he's hitting 65%, just shy of 65%. He's allowed to get 1 or 2 wrong that a lot of folks got wrong there. So 49, 27, and 5, like I said, documented. You can see all of Carm's breakdowns in the last plays. If you go onto his page, and all of our cappers, after they're loaded, after they go live, you get to see the analysis and whether it wins, whether it loses. Last thing on this soccer action, over at our Twitter, we do this a lot here on the show, but want to show you guys over at our Twitter at WagerTalk. If you're not following us there on X, it's at WagerTalk on every social media platform. So TikTok, Instagram, X. What we're running is something that we do here. Tell us the exact score. Pick the winner, pick the score, include your WagerTalk username over in the reply section of our page over on X, and you're going to be entered in to win a free 3-day flex pass. So go check that out over at our page. And, you know, you probably heard the joke where it's, I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. Well, it feels like, Andrew, we went to an episode of Wager Talk Today and an episode of Puck Time broke out because I got my two favorite Canucks here on the show, man. How we doing, brother?
I know. It's Carmine's talking right into my segment here. I'm batting last anyway here. I'm trying to bring the runners in, bring the runners home, and it might have been like a 10-pitch at bat there behind me, but we're here, Dan. We're ready to roll. I actually got a bunch of work to bang out for the rest of the day. I'm headed to a bachelor party tonight for the weekend.
God.
I'm in a great mood, man. I'm in a great mood. I'm fired up.
Take the over on liver damage for Andrew this weekend. That's my best. But Andrew, it's just like you're back on Puck Time. Carm talking for way too long as you're just trying to get 2 points across. So and in true Carm form, is CFL even a sport? Carm, you're betting MLS tonight. The defense rests. So, all right, Andrew, let's talk some CFL. We also have a great promo to throw out here for you. But let's start off with this BC Lions Edmonton Elks game. It's a bit of a look ahead as the game is going to be going tomorrow. You and Andy always talk about the overs, the overs, the overs. Are we still just blindly betting overs, or have you been attacking CFL a little bit different, Andrew? As far as the Elks and Lions are concerned, how are we betting this one, man?
Hey, I appreciate the follow up there, the segue there, Dan, because I had a 5% under last week. I was like, I don't care what we've seen so far. I don't care what's happened so far. 5% under last week, so that was fantastic. 5% played CFL this year, moved to 4-1. But it's funny, unders tried to make a comeback, and they still only went 2-2 last week. So over still, definitely leading the way in big way. We'll see if that continues to happen here moving forward. Before I jump into this game breakdown, I'll just add this. If you want to talk about adjustments, we opened up the season, Dan, seeing 46.5s, 47.5s, 51.5 was a big number, 52.5. We're talking now 61, 63, 55, and 55. So when you talk about the books making adjustments, that's exactly what they have done. When it comes to BC and Edmonton, look, these teams played a handful of weeks ago. This is a revenge type of spot. In fact, we actually have a couple of revenge spots on the card this week for week 7. But I'm going to start things off with a player prop for us here today, Dan. And, this is available at multiple sports books that should be readily available for everybody. We're going to take a look at under Justin Rankin on his rushing yards. And the number you can get right now is 88.5. And when you look at this guy, he has been the most outstanding player so far for the CFL. I know people that bet him 40-1, 30-1, 20-1, most outstanding player. The guy's like 6-1 now to win that award. Through 6 weeks, this guy has won Player of the Week 3 times. But Dan, we all know sometimes you just meet your match and a team just knows how to contain you. In 2025, the BC Lions had the number 1 rush defense. Well, in 2026, they've done it again. They have the number 1 rush defense. So feel like I'm back on props and parlays, because when we look at it, this guy had 19 yards on 7 carries the last meeting against those BC Lions. So with that said, I'm going to take the under 88.5 rushing yards for Justin Rankin. If you guys don't want to play a player prop in this one, and I completely understand it, we're going to go towards the under, but we're not going to go just full game. We're going to go first half under BC and Edmonton under 29.5. You shop around, you could find some 30.5s out there for this one, Dan. I like the under, but I'll tell you, this player has been phenomenal, Dan, but this is just a matchup that does not work well for him. It's unbelievable. He's getting like over 100 rushing yards every single game. And then whenever he plays this one team, they just know how to stop him.
And as Andrew alluded to, it's teams with familiarity that have already seen each other this season. So I like the breakdown there. Nothing gets me more jacked up than CFL bets from Andrew McInnis, especially when we're talking prop bets. Like, feed me those micro markets. Let's go. And these are ways that you want to get the all access stuff. I mean, you can always get Andrew's plays. You can just buy a play. But when you get these all access packages, as soon as Andrew bets it, as soon as he loads it, you get it as well, because these are, lower volume markets that a couple bets this way or another way, or an account that's dog-eared is a sharp account, it can move the line on you. And Andrew wants his clients to get the lines he gets. That's super important. We do still believe in CLV while we won't hoist the trophies. That's why we preach grabbing these long-term packages, because you get them loaded right away. And I don't want to bet CFL, Andrew. Well, if you've been riding with Andrew the last month, you're up over $1,000. $1,045 for $100 bettors if you rode with Andrew's CFL plays over the last month. So, Andrew, we'll talk one more game, but first things first, I mentioned these long-term packages. They can use this code Andrew30, 30% off. That is huge savings after some of these that are already marked down. What kind of action are they going to be getting?
Dan, this is one hell of a deal. Andrew 30% off, not $30 off, 30% off. Everyone keeps saying, are you sure it's not 30? No, it's 30%. So you pick any package you want. It can be short term for 3 days, 7 days, or it could be 30 or 90 or whatever it might be. Or just right now, guys, jump in with me for the rest of the CFL season. Plus 21 units so far this year, CFL. Week after week, we're finding a way to make profit. 65%, though, I'm really proud of that, because, when you look at a sport like football and it's only happening, it's a weekly sport, right? Each team's playing once a week. To be hitting 65%, the 5% plays are 4-1. Long-term, 20-8, that's 71% run with the CFL. You guys can get that. And as well, you're going to get baseball, any UFC thrown in there if you get an all-access pass. And there's actually people that have bought an NHL Lookahead package. Like, I know someone that has used this promo code to buy an NHL package for September because it's such a good deal. So the promo code is Andrew30 for 30% off any package. We got a play going Friday night, and we also got a 5% play coming up this weekend. So, and you guys will have to tweet me and let me know. I'm going to be off the grid. The service might be tough. That's where we're going for the bachelor party, Dan. I might not even know the score when the game's going on.
Yeah, well, that's when once. If there's anyone who will find a way to find a score of a CFL game while in the mountains, it's Andrew effing McInnis. That I know. 3 other matches or 3 other games that are going this weekend. Which one do you want to break down? We got Montreal, Calgary, Toronto, Hamilton, Winnipeg, Ottawa. We already talked the BC Edmonton game. You got any other free play for the folks?
Dan, let's go to the Hamilton game, because I want to bring this up, and I talked about this on our great show, the CFL Betting Blueprint. A lot of you guys have been checking that out. Very, very thankful for you guys watching, Terry, Bobby, and myself. But when we look at this, guys, when it comes to betting, a lot of times you maybe want to, the sharp move is to find a way to actually back the team with injuries, right, Dan? We know that the odds makers adjust. They you have the starting quarterback go down and top receiver go down, the odds makers adjust, and then you can find value in betting on that underdog. But I'm going to just look at it like this. In the CFL, and people were pushing back on me with this, saying, hey, there's some backups in the NFL that aren't good either. In the CFL, there is a major issue every year with backups. The reason why the overs were hitting at such a high clip, and I hate to say this, is because there were no injuries yet. The second, and I mean the second an injury happens to a QB1, it just goes way, way, way downhill. And my 5% play was Hamilton and Saskatchewan last week under the number 54.5. Now we get a Hamilton game with 55.5 as the number. Look, Toronto's defense, not the best, but Hamilton's defense looked pretty good for about 3 quarters last weekend. Toronto, I think they're going to run the ball. I think they're going to play it pretty safe, but they love beating Hamilton. They're going to be on the field a lot, but this is too many points. If it's Bo Levi as the quarterback, maybe this total is in the 60s. But this, to me, is not enough of an adjustment. That's how much worse, Dan, the backup quarterbacks are from the starting quarterback. So we're going to go with Toronto and Hamilton. Let's try and cash some under tickets. When everybody's zigging, we'll zag. If you didn't make money on over so far, you probably missed the train. Let's cash an under ticket, under 55.5. Hamilton hosting Toronto.
Another under. Andrew ain't scared. I like it. I like it a lot, Andrew. WT.buzz/AM. Enjoy the bachelor party, brother. Make sure to sprinkle in some waters every now and then. Just every now and then. Doesn't have to be after everyone, but stay hydrated or dehydrate, my friend. But Andrew, best success. Keep those plays coming. Again, that 5%. Use that code Andrew30. And again, take 30% off any pack. Some of them are already discounted. It's a huge, huge deal to take advantage of. So, Andrew, always a pleasure, my friend.
Always appreciate you, Dan, man. Take care, brother.
Appreciate it. WT.buzz/AM. That's the way to hop in on Andrew's best bets. And the CFL Andrew bets are ones that are just auto bets for me. Like you said, 4-1 on those 5%ers, folks. So don't miss out. Hop on Indeed. And don't you think I forgot, folks. It is Thursday, even though we don't have Yanni with us. Let's end the show here with the Thursday. All right, so for those of you who don't know, the reason why we do this segment is the one time we had Yanni on with us, and he brought up just insane trends that people will make into being trends just for a soul of like, oh, look at how sharp my play sounds. So absolutely ridiculous reasons to make a bet. That is what the Thursday Hammer is all about. And what is a more ridiculous reason than what I alluded to on the show yesterday? If you've seen this tweet that went viral, Argentina just beat Spain at the 2026 World Cup Final, 3-2. Now, why is this notable? Not because actually I'm the, aka Dilemma, posted this. It's because look at the date on which it was posted. July 11th, 2021. Now, if anyone here is a fan of Back to the Future, much like I am, Biff got an almanac. And he made generational wealth on it. Now, do I think actually I'm the is Biff? Probably not. Do I think that this bet makes no sense? Absolutely. Do I think it makes the perfect Thursday Hammer? You bet your sweet ass. So over on the Blue Book, the way we're attacking this one, Argentina to win either 3-2, 4-2, or 5-2. Do we think that happens? Probably not. But it's priced at 25-1, plus 2,500. $10 can win you a heck of a score. So why not, for our Thursday Hammer, bet the exact score. Argentina over Spain, 3-2, for no other reason than this guy tweeted it in 2021. And that is your Thursday show. Big thanks to all of our guests, Adam Trigger, Carmine Bianco, and of course, Andrew McInnis. Grab their best bets over at WagerTalk. Want to remind you guys as well, talking about X, head on over to WagerTalk at X, at WagerTalk, and drop in the comments here your thoughts on picking the winner, picking the correct score, much like we just did there with our Thursday Hammer. When you do so, you'll be entered in to win a free 3-day Flex Pass. And you're not wrong. Biff's Almanac did win the Super Contest last year. He could win it every year if he really wanted to, Have. Hey, appreciate all you guys. Hop in the comments below. Let us know how you're attacking Argentina and Spain. Let us know how you're betting tonight's card, and let us know how much you missed Andy. Don't worry. He doesn't have the explosive doo-doo. He will be back tomorrow. Appreciate you tuning in here. For Andy Lang, I'm Dan Alexander.